It was a Tuesday night, which should have been my first warning. Tuesdays always carried bad luck in my life, like a curse nobody else noticed. I was lying in bed, half watching a rerun on the TV, when I heard the shower turn on again. Marissa's second shower of the day. That wasn't her style. She was the every other day type, unless we had plans. My stomach knotted. Her handbag sat on the chair by the dresser, half spilled open, lip gloss, hair ties, and random receipts scattered across the floor. Normally, I would have zipped it shut, left it alone, but something about the chaos of it gnawed at me. I bent down, picked up a receipt, then froze when I saw the strange silver tube rolling under the chair. It wasn't toothpaste, not makeup, something sleek, metallic, and foreign, with Japanese lettering across the side. My pulse picked up. I turned it over in my hands like it might explain itself. Curiosity turned to dread as I reached for my phone and pulled up Google Translate. The camera hovered over the symbols, and the words appeared on the screen like a punch to the chest. Men's lubricant. The walls of our bedroom seemed to tilt for a moment. I couldn't breathe. My wife, my Marissa, was hiding this. My mind searched for explanations. Any explanation, but every one of them circled back to betrayal. The shower cut off. Panic jolted me into action. I stuffed the silver tube back into her bag, zipped it, and slipped into bed. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. The tablet she left charging on her nightstand blinked awake with a touch. That's when I saw it, a folder labeled grocery. And I knew groceries had nothing to do with what I was about to find. I told myself not to open it. I told myself this was crossing a line, that if I went digging, I'd find something I couldn't unsee. But my hands didn't listen. The folder labeled grocery opened with a tap, and inside was an app I didn't recognize. The icon was bland, disguised, but when I clicked it, a password screen blinked to life. My pulse hammered in my ears. Marissa had never been good at passwords. I tried her birthday, then our anniversary. The screen unlocked on the second try, and what poured out felt like acid on my skin. Encrypted chat logs. One name stared at me over and over. Leo. The messages weren't innocent. They weren't casual. They were a diary of betrayal written in neon letters. Rooms booked for tomorrow. Don't forget the silver tube. You were incredible last night. I can't stop thinking about you. I scrolled, each line worse than the last. Hotels. Late night meetups. Elaborate excuses about work events or errands. There were pictures to selfies in dimly lit rooms. Her face flushed with the kind of glow I hadn't seen in years. My stomach churned. My blood ran cold, then hot, then cold again. The woman I married, the woman who once cried in my arms after her father's funeral, who promised me loyalty, was giggling in secret about how Leo made her sore in the best way. I gripped the tablet so tight my knuckles ached. For a moment, I thought I might throw it across the room, wake her up, and demand answers. But then something shifted in me, a kind of eerie calm. The shaking in my hand stopped, my jaw unclenched. If Marissa wanted to lie, if she wanted to cheat, then fine. But she had made one mistake. She had underestimated me. I wasn't going to scream, or cry, or beg. That wasn't me anymore. No, I was going to make her pay. And when I was done, she'd wish she had never touched that silver tube. When Marissa stepped out of the shower, her hair dripping down her robe, she looked like the same woman I'd married. Sweet smile, casual warmth, but now I knew it was all theater. She carried 2 glasses of milk, a little domestic gesture she'd never done before. My gut told me to stay sharp. Here, you need this, she said softly, setting one glass by my side. Her eyes lingered too long, like she was waiting for something. I raised it, pretending to sip. The milk was thicker than usual, a faint bitterness sliding across my tongue. She thought she was clever. I let my eyelids droop, forced my breathing to slow, and within minutes, I was asleep. At midnight, I heard her creeping through the dark, purse in hand, shoes dangling from her fingers. I waited until the door clicked shut before I sat up, every nerve alive with adrenaline. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might give me away. I followed her, careful, deliberate. She wasn't heading to the grocery store. That much was clear. Her heels clicked in the lobby before she disappeared into an elevator. I stayed hidden, Watching, my fists clenched so tight I felt my nails cut skin. When the doors slid open again, she wasn't alone. Leo stood there, tall, smug, with his hand at the small of her back like he owned her. They laughed, whispered, and walked together toward his apartment. My blood boiled, but I didn't storm in. No, rage without patience is wasted. Instead, I trailed them silently, my mind replaying the folder, the silver tube, the lies. My chest felt like it might burst, but I forced myself to breathe. Tonight wasn't about fury. Tonight was about phase one. I reached Leo's door just as they stepped inside. The lock clicked shut, and I smiled grimly. Everything I prepared was waiting for them. And by morning, they'd understand what betrayal costs. Inside Leo's apartment, their laughter turned to muffled gasps, then to the kind of noises I hadn't heard from Marissa in years. I stood in the hallway, jaw tight, listening. Then, just as I knew it would, the panic began. It started with a thud. Then her shrill voice cutting through the walls. Leo, I can't. What's happening? His voice followed, frantic, terrified. They had opened the silver tube I'd tampered with, a mix so strong it glued skin to skin. Now they were stuck together, writhing, cursing, their passion twisted into grotesque humiliation. I heard them scrambling, their shouts echoing down the hall. Call an ambulance. Oh my God. Hurry. Sirens came fast, red lights flashing through the curtains. I didn't move. I just smiled, a grim satisfaction settling in my chest as paramedics hauled them out, still joined, faces pale with horror. Cameras from gawking neighbors caught everything. That was the beauty of phase one. It wasn't just pain, it was exposure. By dawn, Marissa stumbled back home, disheveled, mumbling something about a work emergency. I cooked her breakfast, chili crab laced with a storm of peppers and spices. She forced a smile, swallowing the lie with every bite. Soon her face turned red, her skin damp, her body trembling from the fire burning inside her. She tried to hide it, but I saw the panic in her eyes as she excused herself, clutching her stomach. And I wasn't done. On the bathroom counter, I'd left a little gift, what looked like soothing ointment. I knew she'd use it. I knew she'd scream. By the time she realized it was capsaicin cream, not balm, it was too late. Her shrieks rattled the walls. Another hospital trip, another lie to cover, another crack in the mask. I poured myself a drink, calm, steady, and cold. Revenge wasn't rage anymore. It was music, and I was just beginning the symphony.